Today is June 26, 2025, and we are here for a live conversation with a good human. Welcome to the 3 Things with Dr. B. At the Mu Dojo, we believe that we are spiritual beings having a human experience, and we are ultimately and intimately connected to one another, sometimes in ways we cannot really explain. Therefore, as we are having this conversation today about the 3 things, we must recognize that we don't know what we don't know. And particularly, we cannot anticipate... Oops, sorry. It's working. And we cannot always anticipate the positive impact we might have on someone else. And so you don't need to be famous or to make millions of dollars or to be a best-selling author on New York to actually make a difference to others. And that's why we're here today. We're going to talk about 3 things. Thing number 1, serendipity. Thing number 2, purpose. Thing number 3, humanity. And today, my guest today is Coach Eric. Eric is a corrective exercise specialist and a performance enhancement specialist. And he trained through the National Academy of Sports Medicine. He has been in that health and fitness industry for more than 20 years. But that's not all what he does. He's the executive director and founder of EBFIT. It's a non-for-profit organization in Trenton, New Jersey. And through this work, Eric helps people get in their best shape, but he's also helping companies increase revenue and enhance company culture through his training program. The mission of EBFIT is to ignite a transformative journey for the city of Trenton, harnessing the power of fitness as a self-development tool. Welcome, Eric.
Oh, thank you, Dr. B. I have to take you across the road with me, be my introducer everywhere I go. I am cheesing right now. Thank you so much for the warm introduction. I'm happy to be here right now.
Absolutely. So good to see you. And for the record, people may have seen this invite back in April, and we actually did the live interview, and somehow we had technical issues, and we tried to salvage it. Didn't work out. So I'm so grateful that you're coming back on screen with me today.
Yes, pleasure's all mine.
And so we're gonna start with first thing number 1. Thing number 1 is serendipity, which is really about what are all the things you have done in your life up until now that lead you to be here today with me. And, you know, we all have an adventure in life. And I'd love to hear about your milestones up until now.
Absolutely. So we can actually take it back. So with me being a corrective exercise specialist and a performance enhancement specialist, a lot of events have occurred prior to me getting those specializations. And if I can go far as back to 30 plus years ago, when I was
Go ahead.
late 80s, when I was 5-6 years old. So during that time, my pops, he was a professional boxer. So he would travel, across mostly the Northeast and Midwest. And he would train professionally as a boxer. So during that phase, there were times where he would wake me up 5 o'clock in the morning. Wake up. We going running. So, I respected him and I was obedient at the time. That's what he would say. I didn't mind it. So he would wake me up and we would go running. We would run for a few miles at a time. Always share the story of 5 miles at 5 years old. So we would run at least 5 miles during this time.
Wow.
And that's an important story because there was a time in my life prior to becoming a trainer where I was going through some soul searching. And a gentleman who was a mentor of mine, I would listen to his audios on a consistent basis. And one of the things that he would say is, if you look at some of the things that you did as a child, it was probably something that you were designed to do as an adult. So as I was listening to this repetitively, so I didn't just listen to it one time. It was he was just in my ear over and over and over. It started to just run in my mind to the point where I was starting to naturally look for that, but not knowing that it was right underneath me. So when I became 21, early 2000s, I became a professional bus driver. So during that time, I would take kids to school. I have a gap in between, and then I'll pick them up and then take them back home. I did most of that during Mercer County, Trenton, Ewing, Lawrenceville, West Windsor Township. And
Was
then,
that your first job?
oh, I had jobs before, just part-time jobs and things like that. I'm usually an entrepreneurial spirited guy. During this time, I was also doing sales, direct sales. I was part of a direct sales organization and things like that. There were some unfortunate circumstances that have led me to the point to take a route of getting a CDL. So during that CDL, I started doing bus routes in Mercer County, and then they eventually transferred me to Flemington County. I'm not Hunterdon County, Flemington
Right.
School District. So that's when I would drive early up there, 5 o'clock in the morning. We'll drive up at the Huntington base in Flemington, pick the children up, take them to school, come back to the Flemington base, and we would just wait until it was time to pick them up. So there was a time gap between about 10 a.m. to 1 a.m. to where
when you pick them up again. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So I said to myself, I'm gonna get a gym membership. During this time I was out of fitness. So I was gonna get back into fitness. So I had no choice. If I'm taking the kids to school 5 days a week, I said to myself, I have no choice. 5 days a week, I'm going to start getting back to exercising. And so that's what I did. And during that time, I was about 145 pounds. I was the skinniest that I've ever been. After working out for about 5 to 6 months, I've achieved the goal of gaining weight because that was my first goal. I wanted to get back to my natural weight, which is about 170.
But with muscles, right? Not with fat. Yeah.
Absolutely.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'10".
Okay.
Yes.
145, 5'10". Yeah, that's skinny.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So I made it a mission. I said to myself, I got to get my weight back up. So that was a lot of things led up to that event. It was a very stressful phase in my life where I really didn't know what I was going to do. So during that time of 5 to 6 months, I was able to gain about 40 pounds. I was weighing 180 pounds over the course of about 6 months. And so when that happened, some of the trainers there who I would ask for advice when I first became a member, I would ask them what would they suggest for this part of my body. I've done this. Can you help me out with that? They were more than happy to help me out. Months later, members are asking me, what did I do? How did I achieve my results? And the best thing that I can share with them is what my pops had taught me, because that's all I knew at the time, is what he shared with me as a professional boxer and any other questions that I would ask other fitness professionals, such as the ones who I met at this Huntington County YMCA in Flemington. I don't remember his name. I want to thank him though. This is so long ago. I don't remember his name. But one day he asked me, Eric, have you thought about being a trainer? Dr. B, I've never thought about being a trainer. But when he asked me that question, it was one of the biggest light bulb moments in my life.
Wow.
Remember the cartoons and the movies where it's like, ah, that's literally what rung in my head at that time. So I said, no, I never thought about being a trainer. Do you have some resources, some suggestions? So he gave me some resources. One of them was the National Academy of Sports Medicine, NASM, which is the organization that I'm certified under. Mm. I ordered their material, started my studies, and
you were on a mission from there on.
So as we talk about serendipity, all this kind of goes back to when I was 5 years old, some of my childhood experiences, to an adult being in an open-minded position to find purpose and to find things that connected back to my childhood with the help of a mentor. And then people came into my life and I took action. So when we talk about serendipity, I'm a 100% a believer of it. I'm in tune with it, and I always try to connect events knowing that there's going to be good coming out of it.
That's really cool. And you're describing some of these experiences, but these people, it's not just the milestones of events in your life, but the people that are part of it that come into your line of sight and make a difference, sometimes with just a sentence or just an idea, right? Your dad and your dad's friend, and then this person in Flemington. It's too bad you don't remember his name, but what can you tell our audience today in case it's him or someone who knows him, that, you know, they could reach out to you and find you again? Like, how would you describe that person that changed your life?
I would describe him just as a helpful person, just a person that genuinely wanted to come in every single day and do his job and help people. So that's one thing that I would say is because there's a lot of people in our community that they say that they want to help people, and that's a great energy to have, and we should have it. With that, if we connect serendipity with that, certain people will come along in our path in our lives will allow us to direct that energy to how we can help people. So with me seeing him, I was inspired just watching him in the gym and just he's literally helping people. He helped me. So that's one emphasizes keep that hope and that idea of being able to help people, connect serendipity with it, and then direct it, and then it being tied with whatever purpose or whatever mission you have for yourself.
Yeah, and then what happens? Because you've been training now at that gym for a while, and you get a lot of advice from people. You've been very curious and trying to understand all of that and studying. But then what happened after a while? Didn't people start coming to you?
That's what happened. So if we go back to when I first became certified, one of my first gyms was LA Fitness, which is in Langhorne, Pennsylvania. They offered me a great opportunity to start my training there, to build up my resume and to build up my experience. So throughout my time being there, I ended up becoming the best trainer there. Not that I said it. I always take pride in being the best and doing my best. Eventually, a lot of the members were requesting me and they wanted to work with me and they considered me to be the best. So I put my best foot forward every day. I had the great energy. I was blessed to be in a position where I was taught by some great individuals. I stayed hungry and I stayed curious. And then when it was my time to display my work, that's what I did at LA Fitness, and they loved it. And that put me in the position to go to the next gym. And that's when I went to Gold's Gym, which is in Lawrenceville, New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
I had an opportunity to work there for some time. And then the same exact thing happened there over the matter of a few short months.
Nice.
I became the best trainer there just from what the members would say. But I did the same thing I did in LA Fitness, just put my best foot forward. I'm a team player. I like to connect with the staff. I like having a great work ethic, fun culture. And those are some of the things that have allowed me to have success. And that led me to the next milestone, which was an opportunity to do a full partnership at a private facility. A full partnership at a private facility, which is more of an opportunity for someone like myself who wants to grow. Because I will admit, I did begin to outgrow that environment, just in terms of some of the things that have happened in my life and some of the opportunities that were being brought to me. And one of them, for example, was the opportunity to work with the drink company BAI. If some of you guys in the audience are familiar with that, this company became $1 billion company. And with my help, they were able to do that. So, of course, I'm not taking full credit, but I did have an opportunity to work with the CEO. We developed a fitness program, and it was a part of the culture for the organization.
Can you tell us again, how did you meet that person?
Yes.
Because I think that's a good example of serendipity, isn't it?
Absolutely. So I met Ben. What's up, B-Dub? I met Ben, a.k.a. B-Dub. That's what I call him. You know, we developed a great relationship over the years. I met him at Whole Foods Market in Princeton. I was just finishing up a fitness class, and I usually get breakfast at Princeton from time to time whenever I do this class. It used to be on a Tuesday every week. So every Tuesday, I would go to Whole Foods and get my daily breakfast at Whole Foods.
Mm-hmm.
This one particular Tuesday, I went to Whole Foods and I got my usual, and there's this drink. That's when I found out about Bai about maybe a couple months prior to this interaction with Ben.
So you actually buy one of the Bai bottle.
Yes, I liked it before we even met. As a matter of fact, I was raving about it. I would go back to the gym and tell others about the flavor of this drink. So this one particular Tuesday, I was on my way to the refrigerator to pick up the drink, but I saw these two gentlemen in the middle of the refrigerator blocking the drink. Little did I know that Ben was one guy and one of the distributors for Whole Foods was the other guy.
Mm-hmm.
So they see this trainer walking. So I said, "Excuse me." I reached for this drink. So he asked me, "You like that drink?" I said, "Yeah." I'm just raving about it. Strawberry's my favorite. I'm a strawberry fan. This is a good drink. I get this every time I come. That's what I said there. Little did I know that helped him get a distribution deal at Whole Foods. He gave me his business card. I didn't know at the time. At the time, it was just a genuine interaction. Hey, how you do? With a general interaction. He gave me his business card, and I went about my day. Now, about 3 weeks later, I saw him at Wegmans. So I may go from Wegmans to Whole Foods, from Whole Foods to Wegmans.
So you meet him at Whole Foods, you get his card, and then nothing happens, and then you see him again at Wegmans.
Yes.
I mean, if that's not a message from the universe, right?
Absolutely. So he was maybe a few registers from me, so we just waved from each other, like, hey, how you doing? And that was it. But then Dr. B, about another 2 weeks later, there's a husband and wife that I trained, the Silversteins. Shout out to the Silversteins. Hey, to the Silversteins, Mrs. Silverstein. I went to train her one day, and she was like, Eric, did you meet Ben? He wants to train with you. So what happened with all three of them, they were at the Silversteins and Ben, they were at a bar mitzvah. And the Silversteins were raving about me as their trainer. So because of that, they started describing me. And then Ben said, I think I met him at Whole Foods. I think I met him at Wegmans.
What?
I want to work with him.
That's amazing.
Said, Eric, send him an email. Reach out to him. And so a couple of days later, that's what I did. I reached out to him. I went to his office. We had a great conversation. We talked about what we can do together. And then the rest is history.
Wow.
But get this, Dr. B, I only met the Silversteins because the group, we have a different departments at the gym. Our group exercise department director was out on maternal leave because she had her next baby on the way.
Uh-huh.
She said, Eric, I don't trust anybody to work with my clients but you with the Silversteins. I trust you to work with the Silversteins.
So they were not even your regular
clients. They weren't even my regular clients.
That's amazing.
I had another person on my team who watched me, who loved how I work, and she trusted me to work with the Silversteins while she was on maternal leave.
I mean, you can't make this up. The universe puts Ben in front of you twice.
Yes.
And then somehow this colleague of yours tells you that you can take care of her clients while she's away. Yes. And they happen to know Ben, and they put it back in touch with you. I mean, like, you can't make this up.
Serendipity. Can't make it up.
Love it.
Can't make it up.
Love it.
And I'm proud to have that belief. Like I truly believe at the bottom of my heart of these things, of connected events. Never knowing that the person I meet next could be a friend for life. Like I live with that energy, and I let the flow of conversations lead the way along the way, and a lot of great things have happened.
And I'm glad you're mentioning energy, because that's really what this is. And in order for that to happen, not only you need to open yourself to that energy, you also need to listen, don't you? Right? Because some people might say, oh yeah, I bumped into that person, so what? But this repeat message, it's just too big to ignore. And I think sometimes people hear a little message here and there, but they ignore it, or they ignore the connection between multiple messages.
Absolutely.
So it's beautiful. I'm so glad you can share that story. So then you worked with him for his company.
Yes.
And then, and right now you do EBFIT. So how did you connect? What happened after that? Like, how did you get into this company?
So when we started working with his company, we were able to contribute to the growth of the company. The company was sold for over $1 billion. And so at the time when the company was sold for $1 billion, there was a whole new team there. And eventually they made a lot of transitions. Ben no longer worked for the company. Mm-hmm. My program was shut down. And so that partnership was done. And then what I realized is that there's much more to fitness than just as a trainer telling somebody that they can lose or gain weight, which I've gained weight in my goal, but in my own personal goals, but it was deeper than just the weight. My mind became sharper. I was more confident. I was able to achieve other goals outside of just the gym, self-discipline and things like that. And throughout my career, what I've discovered is that not only that is there's a physical goal. There's certain measurements that a person may want to have. There's certain ways that they want their muscles to look and things like that. There's also this inner component, which can help a person be sharper, which can help a gentleman such as someone I'm working with right now by the name of Aaron. He was diagnosed with a rare disease called Adam's disease, which it paralyzed him. Doctors were concerned that he would never walk again.
How old is he when he got that diagnosis?
He was in his early 30s.
Mm-hmm.
So he's still a young man. And I'm the guy that got the phone call to work with him to see if we can rehabilitate him. So Dr. B, I'm all leading up to something as I share this with you. I was in his grandmother's house teaching him how to crawl because he literally, his nervous system, it was out of whack. So his ability to communicate with his body wasn't on point, but we took him through literally baby steps. I'm in his grandma's house teaching him how to crawl on the floor. 6 months later, he's walking, stumbling as he's walking, but he's up. To a year and a half later, he's upright. He's coming to the gym, lifting weights. He has a job now, and he's a very self-sustained man. So it made me discover that fitness is more than just the physical goals of maybe losing weight, gaining weight. There's these goals that can make a person a more functional human being in society.
So the doctors told him he couldn't walk again, likely couldn't walk again, but
yes,
you believed in him and you gave him the support.
Yes.
And step by step, you got him back on his feet.
Absolutely.
That's absolutely incredible.
And to his credit, he had the willpower. So there was something also inside of him. I have the skill sets to take him through a system, which I'm glad to have him. A lot of that is a mindset component.
Yeah.
So a lot of times the variable can be the individual. And that's where we were inspired to create EBFIT, because thanks to Ben and thanks to Bai, he helped me with the idea. Because again, we were on a treadmill one day and I was telling him about this whole idea of EBFIT, because at first it stood for me, Eric. Eric is fit. I would be in the neighborhood. Oh, EBFIT. Before you know it, that's my nickname, EBFIT. So we wanted to spin off this and create something that can be beyond just who I am as an individual. So with the help of Ben and being on the treadmill, we came up with this idea of everybody finds inner tenacity. So
nice.
EBFIT transformed into an acronym. So EBFIT stands for Everybody Finds Inner Tenacity.
And that's the name of your company now.
That's the name of the company now.
That's really cool. And yeah, wow. And so we're going to switch to, I guess, we talked about serendipity, but let's talk a little bit about purpose and what is EBFIT doing today? What's the mission?
Yes.
And reconnect it to your own mission.
Absolutely. So the mission is to spark a transformative journey for the city of Trenton, and we're using fitness as a self-development tool.
Beautiful.
And our vision is we want to see Trenton as one of the most active cities in the United States. It's a very bold goal, and I'm inspired by it, and many people have been inspired by it. So we're going to do our best to put our best foot forward to achieve and execute that mission.
So who do you help today?
We help anyone who is as young as 5 years old. We've done youth programs to anyone who is as old as 70 years old or older. We're currently doing a senior citizens initiative.
Nice.
But if we really want to focus on that answer, one thing that we're doing now is something that's called the EBFIT initiative. And EBFIT is also an acronym. That's the Inner Tenacity Factor Initiative for Trenton, to where we want to go through each demographic and use fitness as a way to share stories.
Oh, nice.
And if we go back to the senior citizen dynamic, for example, we just recently did a Miss New Jersey senior pageant in Atlantic City.
No way.
Yes. more than half of the contestants were from Mercer County.
Nice.
And about a fourth of those trained with me within our fitness program. So it helped to instill hope and faith in our seniors to have more energy, and they were inspired to, I'm going to try out for this senior pageant. I feel good. I feel confident. I'm going to give it a shot. So these were the conversations that we were having as a result of us just building up the strength, making our bones stronger, helping to keep their youthfulness and their ability to have hope in something. And so that's what we've done specifically with fitness.
Yeah,
There's so many ways. There's so many ways to inspire the community and help. We were blessed to really channel all of that energy and concentrate it into one system and one idea that we can support for our community.
Yeah, you said something that is so important, resonates a lot with what I do, which is all of this is not just about physical or physicality.
Yes.
And one of the things I've been struggling with the way we think about our body and our mind in this society today is we have disconnected the two.
Yes.
And we're not just a body and then a soul or a mind. I mean, one cannot exist without the other. It's like the two sides of a coin. It's like the yin and the yang.
Yes.
And so in order to help the one, you have to help both, or, they help each other.
Absolutely.
And that's what you're translating with EBFIT. You're not focusing just on it's not a gym. It's not just fitness.
Yes.
It's the EB component, which is life.
Absolutely.
So you said you take care of children as early as 5 and senior all the way up to 70 and potentially plus. What other type of populations do you address specifically? Like, do you have any other program you want to share with us?
Yes, absolutely. One of the things that we have right now is we have a partnership with the West End Little League. And with the West End Little League, they gave us an opportunity to work with the parents. With the Little League, we have a lot of the youth, they play baseball.
Oh.
We do work with the youth. But in addition to that, we want to give the parents an opportunity to engage in some type of physical activity program. So for that league, we offer fitness classes at the batting cage. And that's just a great way for us as adults to commune. This is an adult-based program, but kids are invited, but for the most part, it's an adult-based program. And it's primarily targeting those in our community who are under these three categories. We talked about threes. One, they're either new to fitness, and because to be honest, especially when we talk about the gym in and of itself, there can be some intimidation.
Oh yeah.
I do want to address the intimidation and the discomfort that may occur with someone being new to the world of exercise.
Some of these people have not moved since high school, right?
Yeah,
so they're like,
absolutely. And that's something that we want to address, because I am an athlete. And if anyone was to see me online, I do a lot of things that's crazy per se. And I like that.
I want to hear more about that.
But again, I'm a man who's been doing this since I was 5 years old. So I've always took myself to new levels, and I'm comfortable in this world. But if we're going to go into this community and really go into a mission, we want to address the sensitivities. And so that's one of them, is the fact that we know that there's people in our community who they're new to fitness and intimidated by it. They may have been out of it, as you mentioned, for quite some time, and they may have to take baby steps.
So maybe the second one is they used to know how it feels to be fit every day, be very into it, but they kind of lost track of it.
Absolutely. And then those who just are generally intimidated by it, but they need to be a part of a mission or a part of a community. It's something where they can feel like they can do it with someone. Because training at home is a great luxury for those who like that, and we want to keep that demographic and population. We want to also cater to the idea that there's some who would feel more comfortable working with those who are just like them.
Right.
That's where the senior demographic has been very powerful for us, because they feel very comfortable working with someone else of their age range and of their age, of their same connection.
That makes a lot
That's
of sense.
where inclusivity comes in with our program. And it's allow us to put ourselves in a position to document research. So now we have a group of adults who are not seniors yet, who can be in a comfortable space to where they can exercise. They're all either new to fitness, they may have been intimidated about fitness, or they're just getting back into it. So there's that connection right there from the beginning.
So what's interesting to me is you're talking about the kids, and you're also doing parents, and the kids can come. So that for me relates back to giving the example, like being a role model as a parent. Do you see that they gain some more confidence, so that their kids are starting to look up to them because they're doing this for themselves?
Absolutely, yes. And then the parents feel good about themselves too, because then, as the leader of their child, or they're the guardian or what have you, they can continue to feel proud as being someone who can lead by example. because the kids, for the most part, they look up. I looked up to my parents.
Yeah.
So to see, I did what he did. I looked at my pops and being a boxer. I did push-ups because he did push-ups. So I was able to model him. So there's a eye that the children can see and it's in their parents. That's always a plus. I love being a role model, and I'll continue to be a role model when it comes to that regard. But I can imagine the sense of pride that a parent will have in themselves if their child can see them, even just trying, even if it's new to them, they can see their parent trying.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I've seen it with my own eyes. So it's always a blessing to see that in our community.
That's really cool. So what else do you want to share about EBFIT or the programs that you're doing right now, or what new thinking, what new projects you have in the future?
Absolutely. Well, what I'm excited about is that we've been going out to more sophisticated events as we emerge as a new organization. Thanks to the Princeton Mercer Chamber of Commerce, we've been invited to be part of a job fair. Because as EBFIT grows, we want to start to have other advocates for our mission and have others who can have an opportunity to have a career and opportunity underneath EBFIT. So that's one of the big parts of as far as the ITFIT initiative that I mentioned is we want to give our community an opportunity to be a part of careers. Tomorrow I'll be at the CYO, and at the CYO we're going to teach the youth just some basic fitness principles.
What's CYO?
CYO is a community youth organization. That's what the CYO stands for. And I'll be in there just sharing a bit of my story, sharing a bit about the benefits of fitness, and then also opening up the children's door to possible career opportunities.
Wow.
In school, when we ask children what they want to be when they want to grow up, they'll say things like, I may want to be a doctor, a lawyer, an astronaut. All we want to do is we want to bring in the opportunities. I want to be a chiropractor. I want to be a physical therapist. I want to be a physical education teacher.
Yeah.
Just kind of that conversation of possible careers that the children can envision themselves to be in when they become adults.
That's awesome.
That's another thing that we're working on too.
That's really cool.
Yes.
And then last time we talked a little bit about other things you've been doing outside of all this, and you surprised me in that moment. I'd love to see if we can reproduce this, because you are creative. You're a poet.
Yes.
And you've been writing.
Yes.
Like, tell us more about that.
Absolutely. So,
and how did you come about that?
Absolutely. So I am an artist, and if we go back to Serendipity, that's one of my abstract ways of thinking. I've always been creative. I've been a huge fan of Langston Hughes back when I was in elementary school, who was a big poet out of Harlem. I was inspired by Langston Hughes. So when I was at that age, that was my way to express my creativity, just through writing. I would just share what's on my mind, life experiences and things like that, like a journal, but more poetic. That's just how I was. I guess when we're young, there's certain things about who we are when we're young. That's one thing that I knew that I was aware of about myself. I was very artistic with my expression. I would draw big posters for my childhood classmates.
Nice.
Back then, the Looney Tunes characters were popular. So I would draw Porky Pig, Bugs Bunny, Tasmanian Devil. My classmates were like, Eric, draw me one, draw me one, draw me one. So I would always express that. So in high school, that's when I took poetry and music more seriously. I was inspired by the hip hop scene back then with Wu-Tang, Nas, DMX. So I did some talent shows at my high school just to start because my friends, I would freestyle with my friends and they loved it. Yo, you should do something with this, is what they would say to me. So I tried at high school. I did get booed. That could be my first time up on stage. I got booed. They booed me on stage.
No way. That's
because I froze. If anyone in the audience ever seen the movie 8 Mile with Eminem, when he froze on stage,
I'm a big fan. Yeah,
that's what happened with me. But just like him in the movie, there was a redemption in me. I said to myself, "All right, I gotta have to redeem myself." So months later, they had a new talent show, and I won first place, at least in my category. Nice. I won second place overall, but first place in the hip hop music category.
What a great lesson, right? It shows you that in order to get to that greatness, you rarely get to that point on the first try, right? There are times you're going to fail. And in fact, that failure is almost a necessity to getting to the point where you want to be.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So tell us more. Like you created multiple texts. Have you ever published them, or
Absolutely. I've been on tour.
Recorded?
I've done mixtapes. I've been on tour.
What?
hmm
How can
Um,
people find that?
I have the information online. There's an organization. First of all, if anybody goes to my Instagram or any of my social media sites,
How do they find you on Instagram?
it's EBFIT Show, SHOW. You'll get a chance to get a full expression of who I am. You'll see the trainer side of me. You'll get to see some of the music side.
Oh, nice.
Just how I think, my creative aspect of who I am in the digital world.
That's
What
really
you get
cool.
with
So,
that.
would you be willing to give us a sample today?
Absolutely.
I'm ready.
All right. All right, here we go. Hey yo, I'm still treading water, still scratching the surface. Before my back's on the surface of a casket, my purpose is just to be far from worthless. Though I'm already priceless. By the time that I'm lifeless, they gonna love but I like it. It's unconditional love. My fan be raving about me like they can't make it without me. Place hatred or doubt me. But I'm out here paving a route, B. Civil engineering. All that that I'm hearing from your mouth's incoherent, but everybody's a critic. Critics gonna criticize whether you dead or alive. I just let it fly by, then disappear hocus pocus. People losing their focus, people losing their lives without a sense of importance, like a cork in the ocean. Then they forcing emotions, just let it flow effortlessly, but recklessly, like Dennis Eckersley. Curveballs collectively. The recipe is now up in your hands. Head to the kitchen. Now, Dr. B.
Oh my goodness. I love it. I love it. This is awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. Definitely, we have to tell people to go on Instagram and find EBFIT Show.
Yes.
Yeah, and I will do that right after this and follow you. Absolutely, that's great. Thank you so much for that. All right, so we talked about we talked about serendipity. We talked about purpose.
Yes.
Now, what about giving some message to people? If the whole world was listening to you, which it might, because we're on YouTube Live and never know who's watching you. What is the message you would like people to remember that could make a difference in people's lives, and maybe even make the world a better place?
Yes, absolutely. Well, one thing I can say is back when I was sharing my story and when I met the gentleman at the YMCA, I do believe that there's something in us where we want to help. We want to somehow be an impact in the world. We want to help in some way. And my thing is, I think we all should keep that. So if anybody's listening, keep that energy, keep that inner knowing that you can be a contribution to society, because that's what I had for me to make it through the phases that I'll be able to make it through. And through that, you'll start to realize the clarity will start to come. So that's what happened for me. So if my story can be a benefit to anybody, I hope that you can understand that it was a series of events that brought the clarity for me to see, okay, this is the route that I want to take with what it is that I want to do. And then collaborate with the right individuals, which will come with time, and then flow through that process. So if that's the one thing that I can say, if you are someone who wants to help and be a contribution to society, keep that faith, keep that thought, continue to find clarity. And then I'm here to help. You're more than welcome to reach out to me, because part of our initiative is to find other individuals who have that sense of hope in the world, who has that sense of wanting to help, but they may need a channel to use that energy with. That's what EBFIT is to the community also.
Thank you so much. Yeah. And we all have that potential, don't we? Like you gave the example already, the people who, cross path with your life. They don't have to be famous. They don't have to be well known. They can make a difference in sometimes just one thing you do, one smile, one sentence, one word of encouragement. It's so important. And we can do that every day of our life.
Absolutely. Yes. And that's actually what inspired me. Now that we mentioned the social media, a lot of it is very abstract. I did a whole 12-week campaign on the fact that I would never go viral. Not to prove that I wouldn't go viral, but it's more about my wins don't have to be acknowledged on the front of a newspaper. Right. Or I don't need to get 1 million views to feel good about my contributions to society. So I totally agree with you on that, Dr. It's all about the, and I want to keep that alive in our community too. Everything doesn't have to be recognized through a high media production.
Yeah, this is good, and that's why I like to do this YouTube live, streaming directly and inviting whoever is on my path as well, when I feel like there's a message there. And so I could almost do this with everybody, but I do it with the people I resonate the most with. So I'm very grateful for having you today. And is there anything else we want to share? Like, how do people find you? If people of Trenton listen to us right now or listen to the recording and they are interested in exploring fitness in their life, how do they find EBFIT? Like, where are you?
Absolutely. So you can go to our website. Our website is www.ebfit.org. And on that website, it shares more about our mission. It even has our social media links, because you can also look at us through social media at EBFIT Inc. EBFIT INC.
Mm-hmm.
We're on Instagram, TikTok. We're on Twitter, which is now X.
Mm-hmm. And Facebook. Don't forget Facebook. Yeah.
Yes. And LinkedIn. And we're actually hiring someone to do more of our marketing, because we want to have more individuals who will want to have a voice. EBFIT will be a voice for the community. So reach out to us if you have a voice that you want to share within the community that fits our mission. We want to highlight you and give you a chance to make a contribution to society and help out.
Thank you so much. And I had a chance to look at the Facebook, and you can have you have the little photos and videos of people who have trained with you.
Yes.
And how happy and energized they are, and thankful and grateful to have met you, and be able to, you can see the energy even through the photos sometimes. So it's really cool.
Thank you. Yes.
Awesome. And so you're sitting in Trenton right now at EBFIT in your office?
Yes. I'm actually inside of EBFIT in the incubation center with the Smith Family Foundation. Shout out to the Smith Family Foundation. They have been so instrumental to EBFIT's success, especially considering that we're a grassroots organization. And that's one of the things that revolves around the Smith Family Foundation's missions. They want to help grassroots organizations have all the necessary tools, have all of the teachings, have all of the resources needed for their organizations to thrive. So we've been blessed that they give us an opportunity to have some space here. And we want to continue to keep our relationship strong with the Smith Family Foundation.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Coach Eric, for being with us today. I hope everything went well with the live stream, and we'll double check that. But thank you so much. Hang in there for a second, and I will just close for today.